This was just walking down some smoky, down in an underground thing with Millie Bobby Brown. She's really something. She's so impressive.
I don't have my powers.
What if I told you there was a way to bring them back?
Well, it was inspiring to see how much fun they were having. They were actually kids, you know, they would do their very heavy scenes and crying and screaming and running, and then they would just be, you know, playful with each other. Holding on to playfulness is a smart thing to do. And they didn't have to think about it. They were actually kids. I think he's a good guy. He has stepped up enough times that I believe him. And even in here, it was like, oh my gosh, he tricked her. He brought in Matthew Modine, but that was only because it was needed and I was sort of protecting her. So I believe I'm a good guy, but I don't even know if I'm alive. They left me hanging. What I would learn from this, and I'm reminded, is if you can work with Helen Hunt, you should do it.
Hey, you're gonna have me for a long time, and that decision took 30 seconds.
Where did I learn my lesson?
What the show was really about was the work that it takes for a relationship to succeed. It's like, well, they love each other and it's funny, but not all the time. And there's going to be, oof, this really drives me crazy. This drives her crazy. It's like, how do you get past that? Because it's very easy to go, you know what, let's just end this because this is not fun. I think the big lesson at the time for me, it was a very labor-intensive show. And I was also mining my own marriage for stories about the show. So the struggle then was always to find a balance between work and actual life. This was extra challenging because they were so close, and even if something happened in my personal life, I would go, oh, I'm stealing that for the show. So I think I would have told myself, work harder at finding that balance. Well, I knew Eddie from before Beverly Hills Cop. We were in the comedy clubs together. It was like playing with a friend, and so that's why that helped us be loose.
Jeffrey, this is none of your business. This is not my locker.
And it was a throwaway line just to get me out of the scene. But to this day, people come up with, hey, locker, it's not my locker. Well, the takeaway from this, for me, was always learn to be loose on a set and playful, especially if you got, you know, a dance partner like Eddie Murphy. Just jump in and feel free to take it places, because you never know what's going to stick and what's going to work. Because I certainly didn't think any of that was going to stay in the movie, let alone become a bit of a tagline for 40 years. So this is in Aliens, and I'm assuming this is when I'm about to get eaten by the critter. And I think the lesson that I learned there was try to not lock Sigourney Weaver and children in a room where there are terrible aliens.
Burke! It was Burke!
You know, all these guys had all this military gear and all the ammo and the weaponry, and I was the company guy. I said I should have something, so I had a little, what do they call, filofax, they would call that then, just a, you know, a book with all my notes. And I remember the first day, Jim Cameron said, do you really want to hold that? Because now you're going to have to hold that for the whole movie. I went, yeah, no, I don't need it. No, I don't want to hold a book for the whole movie. So what I would teach myself is be thoughtful about what props you want and don't want when making a movie, because sometimes you're going to be stuck with it. This is from Reboot. We are rebooting an old sitcom that my character created 20 years ago. She is the new hip writer that wants to reboot it and make it new and relevant and socially conscious, and I'm fighting her on it because I want to keep it how it was.
Gordon, I'm speechless. If I knew that's all it took, I would have complimented you years ago.
I'm not a big fan of reboots. You do something well, and if you finish it well, it's time to do something different. Having said that, I get it. Beverly Hills Cop was such a hit. Well, we should make a second one, and people love it. You know, we did Mad About You. We thought long and hard before coming back because we had ended it so well. Our show Reboot is not about the sitcom. It's about these characters who are thrown back together to work on a sitcom. But these characters are all rebooting their lives in a way too. It's a second chance for them to sort of get it right.